Hey there, my name is Dante. You're watching Bliss Beings, and I am here today to talk to you about how to experience better or perfect health. Um, our body, first of all, is really responding to emotional energy, and you can't have perfect health without perfect emotional health. And this is a process that unfolds and takes quite some time. So, one of the most important things to understand about health is, first of all, to not fight with your symptoms, to instead see the symptoms that you are experiencing as messengers from your own subconscious about what it is that you are releasing and how you can better release and transform that. So everybody focuses first on the physical aspect of health, and that's really important. Yet just as important is the emotional aspect. First, I want to talk about this physical aspect because that is how everyone out there is trying to make you better, is by this pill, this diet, this, that, or whatever it is. And truth be told, there is no perfect diet for everyone. And anyone who's trying to sell you on being totally raw, totally vegan, totally keto, totally paleo, it's all crazy. There can be a lot of studies to show this and this does a certain thing, though ultimately you're not factoring in how your consciousness and intention is going to affect that. And if you're more anxious about what you are going to eat or what you're not going to eat, you're going to put yourself in a poor state for getting better because that anxiety of like, oh, I'm eating the wrong thing, I'm eating out of my diet, is going to be much more obstructive to you feeling well than anything else. So, is there even a better diet in terms of what do you eat? Is it vegan? Is it raw? Is it whatever? Yes and no, because yes, it's very clear that having food straight from the source, the most natural, the most pure, the most high vibration, like right from nature or right from an organic garden, that's going to have more prana, that's going to have more energy. Though, if somebody is going beyond what they are naturally drawn to, beyond their real vibration, in order to access that, that's going to be more of a dissonance between where they actually are and what they're putting in their system. And it's not going to be sustainable. So this is why Bashar and other channel beings say to people about being vegetarian that you have to raise your own vibration first in order to actually naturally sink in with that diet. So, is meat eating good for some people? Well, it's where they're at. And if they raise their vibration more, they may not be drawn to that as much. Me personally, I'm disgusted by meat. I think that well, I know for a fact that the industry is very toxic and it's very harmful. And even if it was pure and clean, you're still taking another thing's life, a living, conscious thing with a large brain and living capacity. You're taking its life in order to make yours mm, better. Uh, when really you don't need that meat at all. You can thrive and do much better being vegetarian. Though, if you're feeling outrage and disgust when I'm saying this, maybe it's not time for you to be vegetarian just yet. And listen to yourself, follow your own excitement. And I'm almost sure that when your frequency gets to a certain point, you won't even be drawn to eating that anymore. Um, so, the most important thing is to raise your own frequency. And you raise your own frequency by being true to yourself and listening to your own heart. What is most exciting for you? And that, in and of itself, will increase your health, your vitality, though you also have to do some of the work to make things better. Um, so, detox protocols are really helpful. And we all build up a lot of things in the liver, including heavy metals and all sorts of other things that need to be cleansed one way or another. Um, there's a very powerful liver detox protocol with olive oil and grapefruit juice and sometimes Epsom salts that is quite effective, though There's so many other ways to take natural plants that detox the liver is key as well. Detoxing the colon also. We need to flush the colon from the things that build up in it that aren't very good for us. So the most natural way to do this is having a diet that's high in fiber and paying attention to how you're combining foods. So food combining plays a big role in this as well. Though, again, with food combining, here's the caution of being so concerned that you're eating the wrong thing at the wrong time that you're actually creating more anxiety for yourself. And I know this from experience. Just going into my own health story a little bit. I mean, I was raised on a dairy farm. Part of the time, we didn't live there, but we lived close by. My mom was from that family, and she didn't really have much to do with it. She encouraged me to get involved sometimes, but I didn't like it at all. I was really disgusted by this industry and everything from a very young age. That said, I did grow up carnivore until age 19 when I discovered spirituality and became vegetarian. And I was on and off vegetarian for, I was completely vegetarian for 2 years. And I met a shaman who fed me meat when I was broke, and he was pushing me past these resistances, these judgments. So I was like, fine, I'll eat your meat, shaman. And I found myself eating meat again for another year. Not as much as I was when I was younger, but only on occasion. Though after a while I noticed that at a certain point my frequency was high enough that when I had meat I would feel so heavy, so disgusted, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So that was my journey with food up until that point. And then after a while I discovered I had really chronic parasites while I was in India. So I went through every cure in the book, starting with I tried with natural remedies on their own at first, but then quickly discovered I had to take the pharmaceutical pills that flushed the parasites from my system for a good month. And they didn't completely go away until I continued to do natural remedies for another year. Half a year. Natural remedies, natural diet, so many different protocols, and enemas, and you name it. Though one thing I really discovered in this process was that even if I was feeling discomfort, my worry about the state of my body created more disease, created more suffering. When I worried if the food I was eating was going to harm me or not, I certainly would get hit by it. And when I was just there to receive and happy for it, ready for it, ready for whatever was going to come from it, then I felt quite good. So it really showed me that health in that sense is the biggest key is non-resistance to the pain that you are feeling in your body. If you are taking any diet, any supplement, any approach with this attitude of fighting your body, fighting something that's wrong with your body, and making the discomfort you're feeling not okay, then you are guaranteed to cause greater pain for yourself. So in a way, you have to totally accept where your body is at today in order for your body to heal in a natural way. You can use so many different products and remedies and foods and whatnot and what have you to make yourself better. But if you're doing that from a state of resistance, the pain that is underneath of it is just going to stay there. So you have to approach your body from the state of acceptance, from the state of compassion for yourself, and with the understanding that your body has all of the tools to heal itself, and all you have to do is cooperate. So in that way, you have to really learn, what does my body want? What does my body really want? And I was talking about food combining until I got off onto some tangent. If you're new to watching my videos when I'm speaking on my own, not channeling, this is kind of how it goes. It's meandering. But the food combining idea is that you want to have certain foods at certain times. So just eat fruits together, and if you're getting very specific about it, there's 6 different types of fruit that all digest at different rates. And some work together and some don't. I'm not that specific to figure out the different fruits, but fruits on their own, and then fats and proteins and grains all have their own rate of digestion. Some can be combined and some cannot. Um, so what happens when you're eating something that requires enzymes that are different from something else is that it's going to create this kind of fermentation in your body, because one thing is digesting at a quicker rate, the other thing is digesting at a slower rate. And the thing that digests quicker is not able to pass through. It creates a fermentation, and it can cause gas. It can cause it can cause you to not absorb everything that you're eating, all the vitamins in it, and it can cause constipation. It can cause so many different things, and many issues that people face with not being able to digest their food is improper food combining, or even more basic than that is eating too much. You want to feel a little bit empty after eating. This full, heavy, gross feeling is an indication that you're using food to fill an emptiness inside of you that you cannot fill. You have to go inside of that place and allow and accept that, and not use food to cover up your emotional state. And oftentimes when people are overeating, that is the cause. You need to be drinking enough water as well. These things are all really important. They're fundaments. So if you've not been exposed to this idea of food combining, look into it. And the most important thing to understand that most people don't get is to have fruit before other things. Wait 3 hours. Be completely empty in your body before you eat fruit. Fruit is one of the most nourishing things, with a lot of vitamins and minerals, and gives you that boost of your sugar right away, so you have a lot of energy. Though if you're eating fruit on a full stomach or after a meal, that fruit will create that internal fermentation, which is rather nasty and going to slow you down and bog you down. So yeah, paying attention to the food combining and listening to your own body. What does your body really feel the calling for? And when it comes to, I'll talk about the emotional aspect of this as well in a little bit, though you can't really separate them at this point when you're talking about cravings for unhealthy food. So these cravings, given to some of them a little bit, okay, though you have to be aware of where that's coming from. What emotion is that coming from? What place inside of you is that coming from that's causing you to crave something that you know is not good for you? And when you do it anyway, how do you feel about it? Do you shame yourself more, or are you accepting of it? Can you go through that process in total acceptance and total surrender, or is it a battle the whole time? So oftentimes the cravings for unhealthy food is coming from a deeper trauma. We're trying to cover up the pain we're feeling with food, and this is really the cause of all disease. And disharmony is trying to escape and trying to suppress the pain that we need to feel in order to transform. And food is the easiest way to do it, and it's in an inescapable way as well, because we need to eat. And breatharianism, that's a different subject I'm not going to talk on, but we need to eat, and so we can't just stop this addiction. We have to keep eating, and finding that moderation can only be found with the emotional wellness, which I'll talk about a little bit after this idea of the detoxing. So again, liver detox, colon detox, kidney detox, detox all of them, and look up the different ways to do it. I mentioned the lemon juice or grapefruit juice and olive oil, really good, not for everyone. Enemas, really good. If you can get an enema bag and start doing your own enemas, or go to a colon detox clinic. The colon carries so much stuff from our entire life, and when we clean that out, we absorb our food better, and our digestion increases tremendously. Having high fiber foods, or kind of configuring your diet for a period of time to really flush that colon out, is a really good thing to do. And so superfoods and supplements. This is a great way to naturally keep yourself detoxed all the time. And I will just name some that are super good that I think everyone should have. Starting with moringa, spirulina, super greens like that, alfalfa powder, wheatgrass, barley grass. This boosts our body so much, our immune system, reducing inflammation and giving our body so many things that we don't normally get. So super greens as much as you can, really, really good. Mineral boosting with Shilajit. It's a not so, growing in its popularity, but before it was not so commonly known. It's a moss from the Himalayas that is the most mineral rich stuff that you'll ever find. I really recommend taking this one every day. Cacao, the pure cacao from Guatemala, and I will put a link in the description to order cacao through me. The cacao has a lot of caffeine when you get certain varieties, though the variety that I'm suggesting most has a little bit less and is very good for the brain, for the heart, for everything in your body. And as on top of that, it's a plant medicine that just makes you very vibrant and shiny. I really recommend cacao. Maca, ashwagandha, bee pollen, all really good. And the superfoods can go on forever. Camu camu. Yeah, it would be such a annoying thing to list all of them and talk about all of them, because there's so many superfoods that are out there right now that people are discovering, and all of them go very deep and are super important for our health, to just boost ourselves with these different supplements that give us the things that our body isn't normally getting. So really, we'll talk now on the most important aspect of this, which is really our emotional well-being. And our immune system and our heart have so much to do with it. And when we're not living our lives authentically, when we're not doing the things that are most true to our own heart, we are compromising our health. So our body responds best to us being who we truly are. And by doing the things that excite us the most, that by living in the way that gives us that sense of, wow, I am doing exactly what I need to be doing and what I want to be doing in my life, that's going to give our body the biggest support, more than anything else, hands down. We need to be living our joy and moving in the direction of what is really representative of our passion, our purpose here. And by doing that, we just awaken this natural optimism and these endorphins within us that say, hey, I'm ready to face this. So that is what's most important. Though oftentimes there's many things that are in the way of us following what's really true to our heart. And that's the trauma. That's when we are younger, we're told we're not allowed to be a certain way, that we're only deserving of love when we behave in accordance to how others want us to be, when we become someone we're not, by behaving the way that our parents, that our society, that our teachers, that our culture wants us to be. And this is really traumatic. It creates a separation between who we really are and who we present ourselves to be. It makes all of our emotions get trapped into our body. And so watch my video on inner child work to learn more about this, because it really comes down to this. When we are in our bodies, suppressing the emotions of lifetime, our entire lifetime, trapped inside of our bodies, we cannot free ourselves from our disease, because the disease that we're experiencing is just the manifestation of those emotions that have stagnated and got stuck in our bodies. So we have to be willing to feel these things, and the only way to really release them is to fully feel them and fully accept them. And then from that point of surrender, then we can choose the reality that we prefer. Then we can choose how we would prefer to feel. And when we get in touch with that emotion, we start to get in touch with as well the ideas, the things that are representative of that state of joy, that state of acceptance, that state of bliss, whatever it is that is the opposite of those darker emotions that we're holding. We want to move in that direction. We want to find the things that are going to bring us to feel that way. So the healing process can express itself in a variety of ways, and you have to do it the way that is most authentic to you. There is, everyone is different. Everyone has their own way of approaching every different kind of healing modality, every different kind of spiritual idea or modality. everyone's going to have their own unique take on it. So you have to honor the way that you want to express that and how you want to go about it. Any type of thinking that this is the right way, this is the only way, is going to keep you stuck and limited. So you have to be willing to experiment and be willing to play around with the different approaches. To do yoga is really deep in getting into those blockages that are stuck in the body and really feeling the emotion behind them. So we don't want to do this kind of gymnastic fitness style of yoga. You want to have it to be a deep meditation and ceremony every time you get on your mat. To see the pain in your body is not just this physical thing, but it's a bigger energetic blockage that you're transforming with your breath and with your awareness and with this state of non-resistance. That's how the energy blockages actually move. When you use yoga to fight the pain that you're experiencing, when it's like, oh, this stupid hip of mine, like every day nothing's making it better, I'm just going to stretch it out. And you're not really willing to go into what are the stories, what are the blockages that are really behind this. You're only going to make what you're feeling a lot worse and not bring an actual state of healing. And I've done this myself with injuring myself with yoga because it was a battle. It was a battle with the blockages in my body. And now my yoga practice is just a way to expand myself. It's not like I'm fighting the pain that I'm feeling. Yes, I'm going into it, and yes, I'm stretching the areas that I feel the greatest tension the most, though there's a very slight difference in your attitude here that I talked a little bit about earlier, and it's like, are you really accepting what you're feeling? Are you really accepting the message that your body is communicating to you? Because if there's any degree of resistance there, you're going to perpetuate the pain that you're holding. Any degree of resistance is only going to make the blockage bigger. So you can't even resist resistance. You have to bring awareness to resistance and be like, here I am resisting. I'm in a state of resistance. And at least accept that. When you can accept that you are in that resistant state, it's much easier to work with. But when you're denying, oh no, I'm not resisting, I'm ready, that's not that's not the way. And I know because I've been there. So healing yourself, health, it's not a simple subject when you come to get into all of the details of which supplement, which detox protocol, where in my body do I need to feel, what is this blockage really about. Though it is simple in the sense of that it's really by becoming true to yourself, your body comes into alignment, because health is our most natural state of being. Our body wants to be free, our body wants to be well. So by connecting with our source, that pure, undifferentiated state of consciousness in the divine, we do heal ourselves. Through meditation, through all of these practices, we release that resistance and we come into a natural state. So that's really all that it's about, is coming back to the state that's most natural. Disease is dis-ease, it's disharmony, it's the resistance, and it's just a symptom of that. As we naturally raise our vibration, the things that we're drawn to are going to be things that will make us healthier. When we see ourselves drawn to something that we know is not good for us, yet it feels like this craving or this impulse or this excitement, it's good to question, where is that really coming from? And if you can take a step back and feel the emotions that are behind that craving, are you doing this out of a state of love, or are you doing this because you want to avoid something else? Always question that in all that you do, and that's really going to boost your ability to heal yourself. And listen to the response in your own body and not to the advice of health gurus, because your own body has all of the information in it. How does your body respond to a supplement or to a food? Does it feel good? Does it feel nourishing? And oftentimes the things that are best for us will leave us in this state of detox, where it doesn't feel so good, but we have this knowing underneath it that the release that we're going through is ultimately for our better interest. And with that detox process, again, it's not a process of fixing something that's wrong with you or battling the disease you have. It's a process of enjoying the shedding of the layers so that you can rest in a state of wholeness and well-being. If you detox too fast or push your body too fast to go through processes, it's going to drain you of energy and feeling quite heavy. Um, so, yeah, this is what I have to say about health, and I think intimately related to this is important to watch the inner child work video, because by transforming those early, deeper blockages, we come into a state of well-being much, much more quickly. Focus on the things that bring us love and joy, and also go deep into where is that pain stored and what is my body trying to tell me. How can I listen to this, and how can I change the story around this and change this projected idea of a challenging past or a challenging present into one that is reflective of ease, of well-being. And when you can change your story and your outlook to show you where there is ease and follow that path of least resistance yourself, dis-ease will go away because you are creating ease within yourself. I think that's all I have to say for now. I had many ideas of making separate subcategories to go much deeper into any one of these ideas about health, because it is a complex thing and I want to cover all the details of it. So this is just the general intro video that's putting it all out there and giving you something to digest. I hope you food combine it well when you digest it. So if you have any specific questions for me about specific approaches for healing and health and whatnot, please write a comment or send a message. And if you want to go deeper into any of the blockages or inner child work or understanding of these concepts, you can book a session with me, blissbeings.com, with me or with the Pleiadian Council Hoy channel. And yeah, I wish you the best day ever. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. I love you, and yeah, enjoy.